both our storied past and our proud heritage. With the origins of the Navy predating our independence, our Continental Congress knew that a fleet of sufficient force was necessary for protection of our colonies and even for freedom itself. With your hands and through your vessels, our Navy was born as a force for good. Today, we celebrate one another, sailors and Marines who are the lifeblood of our force and the heart of our birthday celebration. And we are deeply grateful for all our shipmates, past and present, who have thrown themselves upon the sea again and again in the service of our great country and the finest, most powerful Navy and Marine Corps the world has ever seen. May you fill this space now with your divine presence and power as we commemorate this momentous occasion together. May you gird us with toughness and discipline as warfighters, even as we work diligently to deter and passionately to preserve peace through strength. May you make us ready and resilient when the call of duty comes as protectors of our nation and guarantors of freedom on the seas. And may you forevermore watch over and bless those who serve upon the sea, above the sea, and under the sea, as we sail towards a bold future together. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Rabbi Yonatan Warren.
I think it's good that we pray now. This is a good time for
We
prayer.
come together now to acknowledge and memorialize those who came before us. Eternal God, for generations they came, young, hopeful, enthusiastic to serve, to answer a call from their nation, from their communities, from you. We pray for them, for those who answered the call to serve in the United States Navy and in the United States Marine Corps. For 250 years, they came in times of war and in times of peace. They came because freedom, democracy, union, revolution ask it, require it, demand it, and they answered that call. They gave of themselves, of their intellect, of their vigor, of their spirit, and because of that, today, we stand on their shoulders and we are eternally grateful for their service. God, Master of Healing, we ask you tend to the emotional and physical well-being of our nation's sea service veterans. May they never feel forgotten by those whose liberty they have so steadfastly defended. Lord, aid the caregivers who tend to their wounds. El Mali Rachamim, God full of compassion, hold close those who made the ultimate sacrifice, who died in the selfless devotion to the greater whole. May they be bound up in the bond of eternal life, and may they rest in peace. Lord, remember their parents, partners, children, and all the loved ones they left behind. Protect and comfort them, bring them peace, bring them grace. In this semi-quincentennial of our Navy and Marine Corps, may all assembled here, may all our fellow service members, and may our nation come to know and savor the blessings of true peace and security. May God bless us and our nation, and let us say, Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Spirit.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Father Daniel Swartz.
Eternal Father, strong to save, throughout sacred scripture, you have raised men and women and entire peoples to enact your will, never just for themselves, but also for those entrusted to their care. Behind and next to each sailor and Marine are fathers and mothers and brothers and sisters and sons and daughters, families from whom we go out and to whom we return each time we take to the sea and set foot on foreign shores. The gift of life is a precious and sacred act, the holy bond of a family. We ask your blessing upon the families of America who have offered their sons and daughters in the noble service of persevering in the causes of truth, justice, and humanity. May they be protected in our absence and fortified in their waiting vigil. And while steel ships and ranks of proud uniforms capture the imagination, birthdays by their nature our family affairs. Today is no exception. In our celebration of 250 years of naval and marine service, may we persevere in our thankfulness for the families whose sacrifices run parallel to our own. Lord our God, we ask this final grace to remain steadfast in mission, resolute in our character, and devoted to the threefold legacy you have bestowed upon us, which we celebrate today, our families, our fleet, and our great nation. May the good work you have begun in us all be brought to fulfillment. Amen.
Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing as musician second class Morgan Ramirez leads us in the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose
I think it's
broad
important that
stripes
we
and
all
bright
listen to these prayers
through the
and our national anthem.
perilous fight. O'er the ramparts we watched, or so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
God bless America. Thank you guys for watching the Beach Report today. The Navy is 250 years old. And President Trump and his wife Melania, the First Lady, will be attending this event. That's right, Laura. Hallelujah.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage the Chief of Protocol of the United States, Ambassador Monica Crowley.
Hello, Naval Station Norfolk. This is my first time here, guys, and this is absolutely awesome. It's such a joy and an honor to be here at the world's largest naval base and home to the U.S. Navy's Fleet Forces Command. Especially today, when we all gather to salute the remarkable first 250 years of our incredible United States Navy.
Hey, Debster.
I am deeply honored to join President Trump, First Lady Melania Trump, Secretary Hegseth, Secretary Collins, Secretary Phelan, and of course, all of you to celebrate 250 years of naval power and American might. The United States Navy has a glorious and storied past of historic victories at sea. From the small but determined Continental Navy sealing American independence in the Battle of the Chesapeake, to victory over the Barbary pirates in the Barbary Wars, to the first battle of ironclad warships at Hampton Roads, to the Battle of Manila Bay during the Spanish-American War, to the Battle of Midway, which turned the tide in the Pacific Theater in World War II, to the biggest naval battle in history, the Battle of Leyte Gulf, which shattered the enemy's naval capabilities for the rest of the Second World War. The United States Navy has always protected and defended American freedom and brought glory upon glory to our great nation. Today, history sets sail again, and we all have a front seat to freedom in motion as we honor America's awesome sea power. This big birthday party for the U.S. Navy is part of a year-long celebration of our exceptional history and the start of a new era of American greatness. Today, we launch the next 250 years of supreme U.S. naval power and of American liberty, dynamism, leadership, and pride. And what an absolute gift it is to have President Trump in the White House during this epic moment in our nation's history. Now, some of us may recall America's bicentennial in 1976 when we were all very, very, very young. One of my earliest memories as a little girl is gathering with my family at the Jersey Shore to celebrate that very special day. I'll never forget the indelible sense of American patriotism that took root in me that day. I can't remember the specifics of July 4th, 1976, but I do remember gazing in wonder at the fireworks, holding red, white, and blue sparklers, waving a small American flag, and singing the national anthem with hundreds of others. Whether or not you remember every detail of that day, you do remember how you felt. Proud to be an American. It is now our privilege to share this experience, this core memory, with the next generation of young Americans from sea to shining sea. On the eve of America's 250th birthday, the national mood is one of celebration. Americans are optimistic about the future. Thanks to President Trump and Secretary Hegseth, we are renewing our commitments to military might and peace through strength. We are working together to realign and reunite our great nation around our shared patriotic values and a renewed sense of civic pride as we sail toward July 4th, 2026. There is no greater champion for this new patriotism than President Donald J. Trump. I am so honored to be part of our national birthday party and to join with all of you in welcoming our exceptional Commander-in-Chief here today with the kind of tremendous reception he so greatly deserves. We are now in a moment in our history when, thanks to President Trump, we are turning the tide again, just as the revolutionary generation that founded our great Navy did. It is now our time to take big risks to save our country, and it is our duty to honor our past generations and their staggering sacrifices, for which we owe them a huge debt of gratitude. We are the natural successors to the Revolutionary War generation, fiercely independent, ruggedly individualist, faithful to God and to country, with a white-hot love of liberty and the unique, enduring American spirit. It's been said that great civilizations tend to not last more than about 250 years. We've made it to 249 with our big 250 next year. But preparing for our next 250 years requires forever vigilance, something that the Navy has maintained with excellence, fortitude, and commitment to duty for 2.5 centuries. President Trump is reclaiming the American Republic for the American people. He is launching us into the next 250 years of American greatness, as he did in his first term, by delivering a strong economy, an enforced border and record low illegal immigration, a rebuilt, modernized military with record recruitment, a government that actually serves its people, and world peace. America first. Next year's momentous celebration will be thanks to his leadership in activating a national and worldwide celebration of America's 250th birthday. We are preparing to honor and celebrate our nation's history in unforgettable ways, from our military anniversaries, as we're doing here today, to a majestic flotilla of tall ships from around the world, to many other really big surprises. We know that this celebration will have a truly global impact, showcasing American power and leadership while promoting a future of peace and prosperity. America's 250th is so much more than just a date on the calendar. This moment will inspire a new era of American greatness. Not only will this be the most monumental and exciting celebration in American history, but it will spark a shared vision for America's future. And Lord knows we need that. Thanks to the Trump administration, next Independence Day will be a once or twice in a lifetime moment of sparkling American grandeur and patriotism. This is the new golden age, and with God's help, we will make America even greater over the next 250 years. And it's all made possible by the unmatched force of the United States Navy and the innumerable sacrifices of every man and woman who has put on the naval uniform. We owe so much of America's independence on July 4th, 1776, to the birth of the Navy on October 13th, 1775. Today, our hearts are filled with gratitude and pride for you, the men and women of the United States Navy, and your indispensable role in securing the first 250 and the next 250 years of American greatness. Happy birthday, U.S. Navy. Because of you, we continue to be the beacon of hope, a citadel of liberty, and a light in the darkness. Thank you. God bless you. God bless our Commander-in-Chief, and may God continue to bless the United States of America.
Welcome, everybody, to the Beach Report. So we do have some new rules in the chat that seem to be serving us nicely today, where you have to be subscribed at least 20 minutes, and you can only make one chat comment per minute. So thank you guys for watching, regardless of the way that we're doing the chat now. We needed to make it safer for patriots who really are interested in the actual news going on. By the way, this is actually happening. This is all live. I am live. No AI here. This is all real life, and I am filming this via live stream from NTD News. So let's get back to it and see who they have coming on. It's going to be very exciting to see President Trump and Melania addressing a sea of naval members. I love the Navy. How about you? If you have a Navy, if you are a part of a Navy family, thank you all for your service. I always like to recognize the family of our military because, you know, in a lot of ways, they are truly also heroes. They're the ones who take care of our military members when they're not deployed, and they're the ones who send them care packages, and they're the ones who love them and also give a lot of themselves in order for their military member to protect our country. So if you are part of a family, a military family, thank you so much. And if you know a military family, take good care of them, especially the young wives and children who are married to a military man or woman. As far as women in the military, I only agree with that as far as women should never be going to battle, simply because men and women are different. And like Pete Hegseth said to us earlier this week, that it is important that we have the best of the best fighting. And if a woman can do all the same things a man can do, then go for it. But if she can't, then she can't. And that's just the way it is. Anyway, I am a conservative channel here. I run a conservative ship. I've been a journalist since 1987 when I graduated from journalism school at Ohio University. And I think it's very important that we see actual news as it happens. That's what this is. I am not a talking head trying to sway you to follow some kind of a narrative or to not believe your eyes. I know that, I've been thinking about this a lot, and lately, the most important thing that any relationship needs in order to survive is trust. And if you don't trust your partner, your child, your teacher, your employer, you are not going to have a good relationship with them. It's just a fact. If you don't trust them, then they probably can't trust you either. So let's not forget about that. Let's try to put trust where it's deserved. That's why I do this channel, because you can trust me. You actually can. I'm not being sponsored or paid by anybody except for myself. And I'm an author, and I'm an editor, and I'm a publisher, and I do my own thing. And I'm just trying to wake people up to the fact that every one of us is amazingly special in the eyes of the Lord. And we do have to hold on to that love that God has for each one of us. And each one of us has a gift. And are they singing right now? I know something's going on. Okay, I'm going to turn the camera around and get off of my soapbox over here. Let's see. Oh, flying planes. Okay, all right, turn it back around. Yeah, stuff's going on. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you, Nicola. Anchors away, my friends. Sorry. I don't know what you think about military music, but I'm not the biggest fan of it. I think maybe we should sing our own military songs, like My Country. Well, that's not a military song. Our own patriotic songs. My country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride. From every mountainside, let freedom ring. Yes, I love my country and I love my fellow humans. And these days, I see a huge danger looming. I am so concerned about AI being used as a tool by corporations and governments in order to control we humans. I think it is no longer us fighting amongst ourselves. I think it is time for us to come together because it has to be us against the machines. And I think that we have to realize that we are humans, okay? And we can't let machines control us. And I'm a writer, and I'm not concerned that AI writers are going to take away my job because nobody does it better. Yeah, I'm not afraid of that. No AI can write like I do. And I was using AI to help me with like writing prompts and maybe some editing. And as I do that, I find out that AI doesn't tell the truth and that it lies about even your own words that you just fed it. So you really can't rely on AI. And you also, thank you, Jay, you also cannot run your life in a virtual reality. And I think right now, real people have to band together for real. So I'm so happy not to see a bunch of bots on my channel right now. I think that might be part of the problem that we've been experiencing, honestly, you guys. The people who are very angry with me for what I'm saying, I think maybe they're not really people. Think about it. It doesn't make a lot of sense, does it? Those people who express hatred of me or want to put me down for the way I look, I have a feeling, again, I don't think they're really people. Because who treats somebody like that? You know, I haven't done anything to deserve nasty treatment or rudeness. And whatever's going on here with the Navy, I think it might just be music. But let me check in. Hold on. Oh, more military music. Jasmine's on. Oh, I'm glad you're here. All right, Laura, let's sing another one. How about God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. Guess what? No bot can do that. Nope, it's not possible. So I am embracing my realness and my ability to think like a person, act like a person, and be a real person, and a woman at that. So if you're here and you're real too, let's connect. I think right now it is actually us against them. And thank you, Jasmine, for your kindness and your kind words. Remember, when we speak kindly to each other, it also helps us to have better lives too. Because if you're throwing out negative barbs at people, what do you think you're going to get back? Think about it. Yes, we need more humans. Okay, let's see what they're doing over here. They're getting ready for something. Yes, we are all a happy family here, Jasmine. Oh boy. Whoops. You know, military music. I don't know about you, but it's just something about it. It's like, it's kind of like scratching on a chalkboard. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. I'd rather sing something, not military, something patriotic. We'll do one more patriotic song. And the favorite one that we all like to sing on the Beach Report here, and I hope you all sing it with me because you know, I'm not a singer. I just play one on YouTube. I'm just making a joyous noise unto the Lord and singing songs of love and adoration for my country and my God. If tomorrow all the things were gone I worked for all my life, and if I had to start again with just my children in my life, I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this. I love this land. He said no band camp. I read something else. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston and New York to LA. Well, there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say that I'm proud to be an American. Sing it with me. Where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. Yes, don't make fun of me. I know it was maybe not my best version, but it always comes from my heart. All right, let's see what's going on with the Navy now, because we definitely want to hear when President Trump comes on. Oh my. I think I do it better than they do. I don't know if it's the horns or what it is about the military music, but it is a lot. Oh, thank you, Jasmine. God bless you all. God bless America. So thank you. I'm so happy to see nice people in the chat today. It just makes my heart sing. Anyway, we are waiting for President Trump and First Lady Melania to come out and address the Navy. 250 years of our Navy. That's amazing. And it's really amazing to think about our ancestors, our grandparents who fought in the different world wars, or even our parents who may have fought in the Korean and Vietnam wars, even some of our brothers and sisters, the sacrifices that they gave just for our country to be free. It blows my mind. And like I always want to remind everyone, it wasn't just them either. It's military families who also have to be thanked, because they didn't sign up for this, but they bear the brunt of it more than the rest of us do. All right, I'm going to turn the camera around and see what's going on here at the Naval Sea Power demonstration in Norfolk, Virginia. Oh, that hurts. Oh my gosh, that was a lot. I'm glad I didn't get too into that. It's some really loud music. Anyway, I have been super thoughtful on this day of this 250th birthday of the Navy, and how they now call it the Department of War, and how some people don't understand that, words have weight and words have a lot of meaning. And to call it the Department of War is to tell our enemies that we mean business. It doesn't mean that we want war. It means that we don't want war. But if you want war, then believe me, you will get war, and it will not be nice for you. Do you mean reduce the volume of my speaking voice? Because I don't know if I can do that. It's the speaker here that throws out the loud marching music. Sorry, guys. Sorry about that. Anyway, I think the Department of War is a brilliant message to our enemies that we are very serious. And exactly, spirit intention is everything. So if you want to mess with our country, you will get what you are asking for. Oh boy, the military music, it's funny though. But here I think I put myself in a little bit of a, wait a minute, run, not the replay, but little pause situation going there. Okay, thank you, Spirit, thank you. So, I also wanted to recap yesterday's show where I talked about fasting. And I am convinced that fasting is one of the most important things that you can do for your health. And I just came off a 75-hour fast yesterday, and I broke it with bone broth, chicken bone broth, as you saw, and lemon juice. And then, something's going on. Hang on, guys. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments, and I'll answer them. No, I think they're just faking us out here. Yeah, a lot of times they make it look like something's happening and then nothing's happening, but this is real life, This isn't the news, even though I am a news reporter and I was trained classically to be a journalist, and I'm an old newspaper girl, so I've got the journalism chops going on here. Yes, the president is attending today, definitely. Well, at least that's what it says here. I want to, nothing is definite apparently, but President Trump and his wife will be there momentarily, I believe. Didn't someone say, Spirit, isn't this set for something like 3:30? So we're almost there. Yes, Trump will be there today. Yeah, I mean, he's not due for another 9 minutes, so there's that. So I don't know if they're just playing military music until then, but I'm so glad that you guys are sticking around and chatting with me. And I want to thank all of you who've joined my membership group. I am constantly surprised and delighted every day I see new members. So thank you guys. It's so nice to see that you are supportive of the Beach Report. By the way, this show, if you're new to it, has been going on for 10 years, mostly on Facebook. Oh, Denise, I love you. 3:30, President Trump is scheduled to speak. Anyway, this show has been going on for 10 years on Facebook. And the thing about the Beach Report is that I am consistent if I am nothing else. I go live pretty much every single day, and you never know what I'm going to do, where I'm going to be, what we're going to talk about. Sometimes we talk about writing because I'm an author. Sometimes we talk about the beach. Sometimes we talk about the animals. Thank you, Jay. You should know, though, the Beach Report is not a dating site, and Jill's not looking for a partner. I lost my dear husband just 3 years ago, the day after Hurricane Ian, and I'm still very much married to him. So that's not my intention ever with the Beach Report. I am collecting friends because I learned when my husband was dying that the most important thing that you can take with you when you die, and you can't take anything with you, honestly, not your clothes, not your house, not your car, not anything, but you do take your relationships. So thank you, Spirit. You do take your relationships with you when you die, and you will see those people again. So that gives me a great amount of comfort and lets me do what I do with the Beach Report, knowing that someday I will meet God and he will say, well done, good and faithful servant. And that is all that I'm interested in. That's my love. Hi, Annie. That's right. Ray is always with us, and he was amazing yesterday. I do have to tell you guys this. So I wanted to go to Dinner Island yesterday. As you saw me try to go live at Dinner Island, I was able to go live for a little bit, but the connection was pretty bad, which isn't really normal for Dinner Island. I remember always having a good connection there when I was with Ray, but for some reason it was not so good, and I got cut off. But when I was there with my dear friend Melissa, who was also one of Ray's best friends, and the two of us are like sisters now. So anyway, I'd wanted to go to Dinner Island by myself, but something, little voice inside my head, which was probably my husband, was like, you think you're gonna go to Dinner Island by yourself? Oh, that's crazy, you're not doing that. So of course I saw Melissa, or I called her and I said, what are you doing? You feel like going to Dinner Island with me? And she said, oh yes, absolutely. So, and we took her truck because my car, not the best place to take into the Everglades. So we went in her truck, and we had a beautiful, excellent weather. It was just really the perfect time to go to Dinner Island, right in the middle of the day, so not getting dark yet. Really nice. Yeah, doesn't that sound like great? And we get there, and we don't see any animals. No alligators, hardly any birds. It was like super silent, and Melissa's like, this isn't normal. Something is up here. And we even got out of the truck and we were looking around. So what we did notice is that there were a lot of hunters in the Everglades that day, all around us, and we could hear their guns and we could see them. You know, they were wearing the orange hunter things, and we're pretty sure they were hunting duck or quail or something like that. So anyway, we realized that when it is very silent outside, and when you're in the Everglades, it is normally never silent. You will hear the birds calling each other back and forth. You'll hear the buzzing of the bees. You might even hear alligator babies going, arr, arr, arr. They sound like little dogs. You'll hear lots of sounds in the forest, or in the Everglades, in the bush, you know, in the water. And it's a very busy, wild, loud place, actually. But it was very, very silent, and it was eerie. And even Melissa was so afraid. You know, we're open carry now in Florida, so she had her pew out because she was like, I don't know what's happening here. Why is it so silent? So we figured out that the silence was because of the hunters. And let that be a lesson to all of us, okay? When you're outside and it is super silent, you don't even hear the birds, you need to know that that means that there is a danger out there. And it could be in the wild. It could be anything from a tiger or a panther or a man with a gun. And in this case, it was the men with the guns. So I do want you all to keep your head on a swivel. I am not trying to make you afraid of anything, because as you know, I actually actively want you to never be afraid of anything, because God doesn't want you to be afraid of anything. But I do want you to keep your head on a swivel. And when you do notice something like an extreme silence that isn't normal, know that that's a sign for you to also take cover or maybe get yourself out of there. Anyway, that was a lesson for me and for Melissa yesterday. Well, Melissa really, she already knows. She's like such a naturalist. She knows everything. But for me, I know that Ray was kind of teaching me a lesson with that silence. So we didn't get to see all the animals we wanted to see. We did see an adorable little deer wagging his tail. So I'll make a video of that later today. And that was really great. Let's see what's happening here in the Navy. The sound back. Still with the Navy music. Yeah, President Trump doing like 2 minutes. Yeah, so what Spirit's talking about here, where there have been a lot of comments that were very disturbing in the past several weeks, months. Like all the time, but it was getting really bad. And yesterday they were especially rude to me in the chat. And yeah, most repeated message in the Bible is have no fear. So have no fear. However, when people are rude to you, you don't need to put up with it. And I'm realizing that, so robots, bots, or whatever you want to call them, they don't have feelings. They don't care about, they have an agenda that they're programmed to do, maybe elicit anger in you to make you feel, not like you don't look good. They want you to lower your self-esteem. So that's why they send bots on shows like mine to try to make me feel like I'm old, because yes, I've got gray hair. Yes, I've got wrinkles. Yes, I got all this stuff. I'm old. Okay, I'm going to be 60 in a couple of months. And if you think that's old, then that's old. I think it's pretty old. But at the same time, I love being old. I love having wisdom. I also love not caring about anything that has to do with how I look. I don't care. I'm not wearing any makeup. I see this line here and some wrinkles over here and stuff. And you know what? I earned every one of them. I'm super nonplussed about the comments that's saying that I'm whatever, old, or grandma like, or whatever. It kind of makes me laugh, actually, because I wish I was a grandma. Actually, becoming a grandma to me would be like the greatest thing that could happen to me, but it hasn't happened yet. And when it does, those people will call me grandma, not disrespectful bots or young men who don't know how to behave. I'm really not sure what it is that's going on with these people who would come on a show like this and look at me and feel the need to actively put me down. It's a sign to me. It makes me wonder what's going on. And is it actually AI chatbots that have been learning from their psychological models or whatever they use to learn from us how to make women feel like what they're saying isn't important and to lower their self-esteem. I'm sure they're learning a lot from the narcissists who program them. So, but guess what? You can't bother me, because I only care what God thinks of me. I don't care what a chatbot thinks of me. Thank you, Josh. I don't care what a, nasty young person thinks of me. I don't care what a stranger thinks of me. I even don't care what my own family thinks of me. I care what God thinks of me, and that's the only one who I am playing to. I will not private message you, Josh. I'm sorry. I don't talk to men I don't know, and I barely talk to men I do know. So there's that. Like, we women, we have to be very careful who we deal with, and private messaging, a respectful woman doesn't do that. So don't ask me to do that. It will not happen. And if you ever do get a private message from me, guess what? It's not me. You're being scammed, because I will never private message you under any circumstances. I already have the greatest love of my life. That was my husband. He's passed away 3 years ago, and I still love him. So there is no man who can take his place except for Jesus. And Jesus can't even take his place, but Jesus is also another man who I love right now. And I feel like, I guess I'm married. Many Native Americans believe you don't reach adulthood until 50. So that's interesting, Spirit. And it tells me that the Native Americans, they respect their elders. Everyone should respect their elders. Hey, Gerard, because you know what? We've lived a lot longer than you have. And we actually, at this point, have seen life in a way that you have never seen life. And that makes me super sad for you. Those of you who have grown up after the turn of the century, you will never know what life used to be like before the computers and the machines took over. And they have taken over. I'm so sorry to let you know that. Let's see what's happening over here in the Navy. Nope, still with the music. But yeah, I'm very concerned today about especially young people looking at a screen and thinking it's real life. And mostly it isn't. However, when you are watching the Beach Report, it's always real life. And I'm always going to take you beautiful places and show you the nature, the beauty that God has made for us is outside. It's not inside, and it's not on a screen. But it is very interesting to me how the computers are making these otherworldly pictures that actually don't make sense to us humans, and makes me think that something nefarious is at work here. Turn down TV volume. Oh, well, I don't have the volume on at all. What do you mean? Anyway, hi, nice to meet you, Subu. Yeah, Darla's right. Darla and I are the first Gen Xers. Darla's even more of a Gen Xer than I am because she's like a month older than I am. So I'll give her the kudos. But growing up as an OG Gen X, yes, there is something different about us, and there's something different about the generations that have come after us. Our children are millennials, and their children are Gen Z, and none of us are the same, and we're not the same like our parents, the boomers. So it's very, very different. Oh, you mean so it doesn't blast? Oh, something's happening. Check this out. I think President Trump is in that Navy transport. Let me see if it's not music, I'll turn it back on. Okay. I think we might be able to see President Trump and Melania come out soon. Thank you guys so much for hanging out on the Beach Report today with me as we wait. Oh, that looks like a loop. I think we've already seen that. I'm not sure if we will be able to see the demonstration. Right now I am live streaming ntdnews.com, which is one of my favorite places to live stream from. I like their camera angles. Gerard says USS Midway, CV-41, 1986 to 1988, Midway Magic, Boiler Tech, second class. Welcome, Gerard. How do you feel seeing this demonstration and having your birthday party, 250 years? That's quite the legacy, Gerard. Thank you so much for your service. Spirit, did you not know that you're a Gen Xer, right? Or are you a boomer? No, you're a Gen Xer. You're younger than I am. Gerard, I hope you will like and subscribe and become a member of the Beach Report. Join our members group. We love our veterans. And we greatly appreciate all the sacrifices that you have made and your family for our country to live in freedom in a way that no other country in the world has been able to attain. Although lately, I am not looking for anybody, Jay. My husband is passed maybe, but he's still my husband. I don't need another husband. Yes, we are, Sabu. We are all humans. Now is the time to embrace being human and don't fall for the artificial intelligence hoax that has been foisted upon us. All right, Laura's a boomer. We still love our boomers, Laura. You're a young boomer. I'm not dating anybody, Jay. I don't need to date anybody. Hi, Fred. Good to see you, my friend. We love the fields of southern Indiana. Spirit time's out, Jay. He's looking for someone to date. Don't look at me. Hey, Paul, it's good to see you. Oh, YouTube hero. That's so sweet. Thank you. Well, Fred, we're celebrating the 250th anniversary of the Navy. It's the Navy's birthday. And we're all waiting for President Trump and Melania to come out. You can see all the Navy people who are there in their cute little white outfits. I think of all the outfits that the military wear, the Navy is definitely the most stylish. What do you think, Donna? Donna's our resident style expert. Let us know in the comments. Spirit. So you hear me talking about Donna as our resident style expert, and she definitely is, because all of the clothes that you see me wear on the Beach Report, well, I'd say 95% of them are chosen by Donna, who is the most amazing shopper, our Donna Wade Nightingale. And she is literally a fashion guru. I don't know what I would do without her. And she's the daughter of a Marine. I love the Marines too, and in my first book, Do You Think About Me on My Birthday, I actually went to Parris Island and learned all about the Marines and watched a class of Marines graduate, which in a lot of ways was quite a sad thing for me to watch, because all I could think of was those young men. Most of them were men. I don't remember really any women in that class, but anyway, thinking of those young men who were probably going to fight the war on terror, which, as you know, didn't work out very well for us now, did it? I do believe that our country right now is in grave danger, mostly from the artificial intelligence. Thank you, Paul. But seriously, you guys need to thank Donna, because I wouldn't look this good if it weren't for her, honestly. All right, I'm going to turn the camera around so you can see the Navy, the naval people. There are a lot of naval members in that crowd. That place is standing room only. They are in Norfolk, Virginia right now. And I believe that that's a ship right there, and President Trump will be coming down that escalator. This is live right now. Yes, please watch the military generals meeting. I filmed it earlier this week live. Pete Hegseth said we will no longer tolerate bad behavior in the military. All right, who is that coming down the pike there? I think that's just an advance man. I don't know about you guys, but I get a little bit nervous when I see President Trump going out in public like this. I mean, he's, surrounded by the Navy, so I'm sure he's very safe. But I wish that we would all just say a little prayer for him that he continues to be safe, and no more crazy people try to get rid of him, because I'm getting real tired of that. I think he might be in there. Someone before mentioned something about this feels like we're watching Top Gun. I do feel like I'm watching Top Gun. I'm gonna take the sound off there so we can just watch it without that music. But it does feel like a movie. And it's interesting, President Trump is often saying stuff about it being a movie and talking about central casting, which sometimes does make me wonder if we aren't indeed watching a movie. Because, life has not been very normal lately. And all of this Hollywood AI stuff really rubs me the wrong way. Okay, we're waiting for something to happen. Everybody's kind of turned towards here. Again, I believe that President Trump will come down that escalator, then it better work. Can you believe the UN rigging the escalators so that it stops right when the Trumps get on? I mean, how juvenile do we have to be? Okay, we'll put the volume on a little. Oh, just music. Now everybody's waving. Who are they waving at? Oh, something's going on. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that they'll come out there. Can see somebody up on the now. I don't know about you guys, but every time I watch anything like this, I am looking at every single flipping aspect. Is there anyone on the roof? Is there anybody on the bottom? I mean, it's crazy. Spirit says, men and women everywhere have seen and heard enough outrageous BS, be it in the public domain of society or our governments or the bankers. We are no longer tolerant of the chaos. It doesn't serve us. So well said, Spirit. Thank you. That was so well said. You're right. I'm sick of this chaos. And I do love to see a celebration like this, celebrating the 250th birthday of the Navy. I think that's super special. And it does show an appreciation, a patriotism, and the acknowledgement that this is a wing of our military that has kept us safe for the past 250 years. It means a lot. We love our veterans here on the Beach Report. Okay, what's going on? It looks like a beautiful day in Virginia. No. Not yet, not yet. They love to draw us in like this, don't they? Make you stare at the opening of a portal for hours, waiting for something, anything to happen. It's maddening. It's like your whole life is a hurry up and wait. Yeah, Laura, that's what it looks like to me at Target. I know, right? Good point. Spirit says free will was bestowed upon us by the Creator, and if it's a beautiful gift wrapped in responsibility, it certainly is. So everybody's waiting for President Trump and Melania to appear. Magically out of a portal. And I wanted to go down to the Everglades today and look for gators. Let me know in the comments, which would you rather do? Watch this or go down to the Everglades and look for gators? Let me know. I'd be very interested to hear your opinion. Because we can do that tomorrow too, but I'm just saying. What would you rather do? Watch this or look for gators? Laura says, it's a movie, it's a scripted movie, and everything you see is not what you think it is. Yeah, that's very frustrating. And it also, again, Darla wants gators. Spirit wants both. All right, so who's this? That doesn't look like anybody. Well, maybe it is. Oh. Wait, do we know who this is? Let me turn it on. Oh, more military music. Who is that dude? Does anyone know? He must be somebody because he's getting lots of waves. All the people that you think are who they are central casting, so we have crisis actors. I know. Debster's seen enough gators already. I love you, Deb. So I hear what Laura's saying, and I don't think that it is really helpful for us to believe that everything we see is a total lie, even though I can understand why you would think that. But I think that, again, it makes our civilization unstable. Sure, Nico. Let's compare President Trump to Hitler, shall we? Hitler killed 6 million people. President Trump wants peace in the Middle East. Hitler was a proponent of abortion and actually doing gruesome, disgusting experiments on humans. President Trump wants to stop all of that. I don't think Nico really knows anything about Hitler, but anybody who compares Hitler with President Trump has no idea what they're talking about and knows nothing about history. If you want to compare anybody with Hitler, let's compare Biden to Hitler and the Democratic, the DNC. Okay, here, let's listen to what we're going to hear right now.
Good afternoon, Mr. President, First Lady. As always, it's great to see you. Mr. President, thank you for your leadership and support of our nation's armed forces. Secretary of War, thank you for your leadership in restoring our focus on the warfighter ethos. Secretary of Veteran Affairs, great to see you today, and thank you for all you do to support our Navy and Marine Corps veterans. CNO, Navy leaders, thank you for ensuring that our Navy and Marine Corps remains the preeminent maritime naval force. Governor, Lieutenant Governor, and members of Congress, thank you for being here today. After seeing today's display of naval power and standing on this pier surrounded by sailors, Marines, family members, and patriotic Americans, all I can say is That was damn impressive. Come on, give them a hand. Bravo Zulu to the sailors that participated in today's sea demonstration. It is the honor and privilege of my lifetime to serve as your 79th Secretary of the Navy, especially as we kick off the Navy's 250th birthday celebrations. Thank you, President Trump, for your trust and confidence in me. Mr. President, your directive is clear: peace through strength, and we are executing it. With your one big beautiful bill and your executive order on restoring America's maritime dominance, you've armed us with the authorities, resources, and urgency to modernize the fleet, expand our shipyards, rebuild the skilled workforce, deepen our magazines, and harden the infrastructure that wins wars at sea. 250 years ago, the Continental Congress made a bold bet: who controls the seas controls the future. This was the birth of our Navy, a testament to our historic significance. The Constitution states Congress shall have the power to provide and maintain a Navy. The word maintain means the Navy is intended to be a permanent, continuous institution of national defense and warfare. The founders understood the importance of having a Navy. George Washington, in a letter to the Marquis de Lafayette, wrote, "As certain as night succeeds the day, without a decisive naval force, we can do nothing definitive, and with it, everything honorable and glorious." Today, 250 years later, history has proven that to be a superpower, one must be a sea power. Mr. President, your mandate ensures that when the world looks to the seas, it sees an American flag, and behind that flag stands a team that is disciplined, lethal, and dominant. Today, we showed the world what American sea power means: deadly precision, meticulous execution, raw power, and the will to use it. Secretary Hegseth, we are restoring the warrior ethos to this department of the Navy, not by slogan, but by performance. The Truman, right here beside me, sustained more than 50 days of Tomahawk launches and precision airstrikes to degrade Iran-backed Houthi capabilities and protect commercial shipping during Operation Rough Rider. There are many, many missions that we are operating and executing on very well, including choking off cartel cash flows. Between Operation Atlantic and Pacific Watch, we've seized over 450 metric tons of cocaine worth more than $11 billion. These seizures represent lives saved. All these operations show us our fleet is ready to answer the nation's call 24/7, 365. The remarkable success is a testament to the bold vision of President Trump, whose leadership has ignited a renewed sense of patriotism, inserting more Americans to serve. I'm happy to say the Navy broke its recruiting record 4 months early, so help is on the way for the high operating tempo you've been living through.
That's excellent.
To our Marines standing in the line with us, your grit and discipline give us a fighting force no adversary can match. Warfighters, you are the backbone of this maritime strength, keeping our nation safe and secure and prosperous. You prove every day freedom isn't free. President Trump thanks you. Secretary Hegseth thanks you. I thank you, and your country thanks you. We appreciate the sacrifice you and your families make, and we value your unwavering commitment to the mission. Sea Power is a family business. Your sacrifices are not unnoticed, and they are deeply appreciated. They may wear the uniform, but you share the honor, and we share the pride. God bless you, God bless our Navy and Marine Corps, and God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
Just like I always say, it's the families of the militaries who actually are the backbone of our country. Their military members are so special, but it's the families who, they're the ones who really take care of our military members and their morale and how they feel, and when they come home, how they are treated. And those families are the ones who often suffer the most, of course, when they lose one of our military members for whatever reason. But they didn't sign up for that. There's that fight, fight, fight for your life. Okay, who do we have here? Who's that lady? Yeah, the families are the reason why they fight. That's its spirit. That is exactly right. They do it because they love their country and they love their families. I have a feeling we're going to see President Trump pretty soon. Everybody's lining up. Lots of action going on up there. It's funny to look the song that they're playing and the lyrics are coming up. Lots of action in Norfolk, Virginia, or as the locals call it, Norfolk, Virginia. I lived there for a very short time when I was a little girl, and my father was a VA doctor. My dad didn't serve, but he did his service through the VA as a doctor. If there are any naval members or Navy families watching, I just want to take this moment to thank you so much for your service to our country, and you are the reason that we are a free society. Though how much longer we'll be a free society, I don't know, and I'm very concerned about it. So I love demonstrations like this, where we see the reality of our country and the men and women who do serve in our armed forces. Let's turn the cameras around. Some more stuff is happening. See if it's not just music. No, it's just music. Yeah, I don't know who these people are. But if you do, shout it out. Oh, something's coming. Someone's coming. No, just more advanced teams getting ready for President Trump and Melania. Lots of hype, which is always fun. Anticipation. They're making us wait. They're keeping us waiting. Yeah, you know, we're a very impatient society now because of the computers. And I am so pleased to see so many people sticking around to see President Trump. And thank you, Joel. I'm so glad you're here. And God bless and protect our President Trump. That is a very good thing to say these days. We have to pray for those people who do respect freedom. It is all about freedom now, actually. And I'm not going to lie when I say I get concerned when even President Trump's talking about AI, because I feel like AI is the opposite of freedom. And using AI is pretty much just giving companies all of your data and your innermost thoughts and maybe giving up control of your life. So I want to promote the Beach Report as a reality channel, which I've been a reality show for 10 years now. And I'm not going to leave you guys. I know a lot of channels, they'll start out strong and they'll go live a lot and then they'll just kind of quietly disappear, right? Well, the Beach Report never does that. I go live pretty much every single day. Every now and then, your girl needs a bit of a break, but in general, I'm on here every day. I am a journalist. I have been a journalist since 1987 when I graduated from the Scripps School of Journalism at Ohio University. And I am one of the last journalists who actually cares about the truth. So I'm not putting down other journalists, but those who are getting paid a lot of money to tell you things off a teleprompter, they're not really journalists, okay? Just so you know that. And speaking of teleprompters, I used to be a teleprompter. Yes, I had a job as a teleprompter at a video place called National Video. For those of you who've ever seen the movie Tootsie, that's where I used to work. Yes, National Video is featured in the movie Tootsie. And we can talk about my days working in the television industry. I only did it for 3 years, but those were some of the wildest 3 years of my life. I was a writer for Nickelodeon, working for MTV Networks, Viacom International. Okay, wait, we got some stuff going on here. Enough about me. It's all about our country. Whoops. There we go.
My goodness. Well, good afternoon. How we doing, sailors? The absolute best of America. I'm honored to be at the world's largest naval base. Now, I'm the only thing between you, the First Lady, and the Commander-in-Chief, so I'm going to keep this very brief. Looking out at all of you, I know you know why the president always says we have the strongest, most powerful, most lethal, most ready military on the planet. And he's going to make sure we keep it that way. This is the perfect way to mark 250 years of the United States Navy. You know, President Trump has made our mission clear: America first and peace through strength, with common sense at every turn. At the War Department, it is the War Department, we're committed to that core mission of peace through strength. And for the Navy, that means more sailors, more subs, more ships, and more munitions for all of them. The Navy and the Marine Corps embody the resilience of our country. Nobody in the world does it better than the United States Navy. Always remember this.
Nobody does it better.
You're not civilians, you are different. Sailors, SEALs, Marines, you were set apart for a distinct purpose. Your diversity is not your strength. Your strength is your unity of purpose, your shared mission, your love of country. Generation after generation, battle after battle, ship after ship, sailor after sailor, you have set the tone. The story began with John Paul Jones when he declared, "I have not yet begun to fight." Today, we have a commander-in-chief who fights for all of you and fights for our country every single day. A commander-in-chief who guarantees that you, the warfighters, have everything you need on the high seas to deter our enemies and, if necessary, win overwhelmingly. We have a president who appreciates your dedication. He appreciates your service, your sacrifice, and that of your family as well. And as I always tell every service member, every sailor I see, he has your back. So warfighters, on behalf of everyone at the Department of War, thank you. Thank you for your commitment to America's Navy. You stand the watch 250 years later. God bless you. And may God bless our great republic. Godspeed. Thank you.
All right, some more kick-ass music. I love it when Pete Hegseth says things like, diversity is not your strength, it's unity. And that's so true. Who tried to get us to believe that diversity was a strength? It's never a strength to have people, for instance, we've got people speaking 5 different languages in in a room. How is that making them stronger? It's when everybody speaks in the same language together as one. All right, let's see what's going on here. Looks like we're trained again at the doorway. Thank you, Spirit, for explaining the beach report to those who are new. It might take a while for you to get to know what's going on with the beach report because we do a lot of different things. But number one, we love our country. And you're right, Joel. God will take us through this. And it is important that we also get through it together. We are all God's children. And I welcome you. Glad you're here. Still waiting for President Trump and Melania to make an appearance here for the Navy's 250th birthday. And as we wait, I would like to take a moment to let you know that I am an author and a journalist and a book publisher. And if you're interested in reading what I write, go to my website, jillbooks.com. It's still under construction, but you can see my books there and you can purchase my books there too. So I wish you would check that out. I'm not here trying to sell you anything that I don't make myself. I'm a one-woman show at the moment, although I have a little help from my friends. Thank you, Darla. I've had, by the way, some of my followers you see here have been following me for nearly 10 years, or some of them have been following me for 10 years, because I have been doing this show for such a long time, and I will always be here for you. I love doing the Beach Report. It's like my own kind of visual magazine where I get to do everything from show you what's going on in the world, like politics today, or take you to the beach, teach you about the gators. I love the gators. Don't ask me why. I just love alligators and crocodiles. Might be because my husband was a famous animal wrangler and he passed away 3 years ago this week. And I do feel like I now have to carry on his legacy in every way that I can, especially by showing people wild animals in wild habitats. I don't play with the gators, I don't touch the gators, but I'll show you what they do when they live in their normal habitats. That's how we like to see gators. Oop, do I see Melania? I see Melania. She's looking sharp. As our beautiful first lady is an international supermodel. Like, how lucky are we to have an international supermodel who knows 5 languages be our first lady? She is indeed a very, very special woman. And I think it must be very difficult to be her. I hope she has good friends. I'm sure they're just playing music right now. Yes, sometimes Laura's right. Sometimes they go live 3 or 4 times a day, depending on what I'm doing. Is she going to give a speech? Let's find out.
Hooyah, Navy!
Hooyah, Navy! I
Hooyah,
love
Navy!
it. Hooyah!
Hooyah, Navy!
Hooyah, Melania!
It is an honor to be with you to celebrate the 250th year since the United States Navy was officially established. Generations of sailors have kept America free because of their presence on the high seas. Your strength, bravery, and sacrifice inspires us all. The President and I just attended an extraordinary demonstration an inspiring display of skills that reflects the very best of our Navy. For me, it brought back fond memories of my visit to the USS George H.W. Bush in 2018. I will always remember the pride and professionalism of the sailors I met on that vessel. I witnessed the enduring spirit of America's Navy, which propels every mission and lives on to every sailor who serves. Now, it is my privilege to introduce someone who holds our military close to his heart, not only as the Commander-in-Chief, but as a proud American who believes deeply in the men and women who wear the uniform. Please join me in welcoming my husband, the 45th and 47th President of the United States, Donald J. Trump.
I don't know about you guys, but I get nervous until I see him. And then when I see him like this, I want to cry because I'm so glad he's alive. Don't let any one of these fascists touch a hair on his head ever again. An American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I'd gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. Yeah, I'm just gonna sing it myself. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston and New York to LA. Well, there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say, oh, how wonderful. Let's see if the music's over yet.
Stand and say,
oh, I wasn't too far. That I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. Okay, I can see the words there. Yeah. The last man standing between us and tyranny. You said it, Joel. I will put the music back on in a second. It's just because of my feed that I can't let you hear the music. Or I will get, they will chop it out. So you won't hear it anyway. And there's nothing to hear because, oh, well, Linda, that's too bad you think that way. Did you like President Biden? Was he your president? Why are you watching this show if he was?
God bless the United States Navy.
USA, 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 USA.
Well, that was good timing, wasn't it? We had to get that right. We had to get that right. But they always get it right. I was just given a display with a wonderful First Lady, the likes of which I think few people have ever seen before. We were a few minutes away, and the display of strength was absolutely incredible. We appreciate it. Thank you, Navy. Thank you very much. And I want to thank our magnificent First Lady for that introduction. People love our First Lady. And let me say to all of the incredible sailors on this pier, it's great to be with the fleet, the fleet. And let's also give a very special thanks to the shipmates who put on that spectacular display of Navy dominance. And that's what it was dominance. And Bravo Zulu, you know what that is? Bravo Zulu, you know, a lot of people don't. And it's a true honor to be here with the thousands of our nation's finest sailors at the largest naval facility in the entire world. It's the largest, and I would say more importantly, it's the best, okay? It's both the Norfolk Naval Base. Thank you very much. The largest, and it's the best. We're gathered on this storied waterfront to celebrate 250 years of strength, tenacity, and unwavering courage by the greatest fighting force even. And that's true. No matter where you go, no matter where you go, no matter what you even think about, there's nothing like the fighting force that we have. Roam the seas, it's called the United States Navy, and there's nothing in the world like it. Nothing, not even close. You read stories, they don't have it. Let me tell you, we check it closely. We check it closely. Docked beside us today are a combined 150,000 tons of pure American naval supremacy, and two colossal reasons why no one should ever want to start a fight with the USA. They won't fight. We're putting out a lot of fights, so do you see that? We're going to be close to number 8. Number 8. We don't want to send you into battle unless it's necessary, right? We're putting out a lot of fires. Maybe some of you will be angry. You'll say, what's he doing? We want to fight. You know what? If we can solve them the way I'm solving them, we solve 7. We have another one that's taken 3,000 years, and we're pretty close, but I don't want to talk about it until it's done. But let's give a big round of applause to the men and women of the majestic USS Kearsarge. Thank you. And let's hear it for the sailors of the USS Harry S. Truman. Those who call this carrier home live by a motto that captures the spirit of America's Navy. It's very simple. The words, give 'em hell, and we do give 'em hell. For 2.5 centuries, that is what every generation of American sailors have done. You've conquered raging oceans and braved ferocious storms to vanquish America's enemies on the high seas and distant shores. You've beaten mighty warships into twisted wrecks of steel. You've splintered vast armadas and sent the mangled pride of empire sinking into oblivion. You've surged the waters thick and danger, blood, brine, and through it all, the United States Navy has kept the stars and stripes soaring high and proud above those big, magnificent waves. You love doing it too. There's not a thing in the world that you'd rather do, is there? Is there? No. I like your life better than mine, I have to be honest with you. Sailing on those beautiful waters all the time, you're so lucky. Because the American sailor never quits, never fails, and never, ever lets us down. They've never let us down. Thank you. Thank you. And we're honored to be joined today by service members representing every part of this great naval tradition. Our incredible surface warriors are the reason America's enemies tremble at the sight of a Navy ship haze gray or underway. The instant U.S. carrier, cruiser, or destroyer breaks across the horizon, every tyrant and adversary on the planet knows their choice is Very simple. It's leave America in peace or be blown up in fire and fury never seen before. All over the world, people know of the skill, nerve, swagger, and sheer attitude of the boldest and most daring pilots on the sea, the U.S. naval aviators, and I just got to witness it with Melania. They land screaming jets on pitching decks in the dark of night with no room for error. There's no room for error. The greatest pilots in the world. And while Navy pilots rain down pain from above, the greatest adversaries fear the daring deeds of our silent service below. They prowl and strike from crushing depths, unseen, undetected, and unstoppable. They are our brave submariners. Where are the submariners? And they are brave. The most lethal weapon in the world, I will tell you, nobody knows where it is and what it carries. There's nothing that carries weaponry like that. And we're 25 years ahead of any other country when it comes to submarines. Nobody's even close. Nobody can match us. No roll call of Navy warriors would be complete without recognizing some of the fiercest and most elite commandos in the history of war. They are the toughest, and there's nobody tougher. There's just nobody. That's what they tell me. There's nobody tougher. It's called the Navy SEALs. What do you think about the Navy SEALs? Where are the Navy SEALs? We're not going to mess with the Navy SEALs. They are great. Thank you very much. Incredible people. And of course, our enemies have learned to dread that special cast of warriors who have charged forward almost everywhere America has seized a stronghold or stormed a beachhead. They call themselves the Leathernecks, the Jarheads, the Devil Dogs, but we revere them as the United States Marines.
Woo!
Incredible people. Incredible people. With us today are some of those who have led these exceptional men and women. They've led them like nobody else. And I'll tell you, a person I'm very, very proud of. He has stepped up and he's hitting home run after home run. They love him. I want to introduce again a man who's just exceptional. I'm so happy with this choice. Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth. Thank you, Pete. Doing a job. I said, Pete, what do you think? You know, we used to call it Secretary of War, the Department of War, the War Department. Now we call it Defense. And I don't know, would you ever want to, you know, we won World War I. We won World War II. We won everything in between. We won everything before. And all of a sudden they decide to change the name. They went woke then too, you know. Woke is a long-term word. I said, what do you think about changing it to the Department of War? He said, I love it, sir. And that was about the end of it, right? That was the end of it. Thank you, Pete. Great job. He's a great leader. Also, Secretary of the Navy, a very, very successful man. He gave it all up to do this, and we're designing more ships. We have more ships being built shortly. We're going to have more great ships being built than we've ever had being built in the history of the Navy. John Phelan. John, thank you. Great job, John. He made a lot of money in the private sector, and I said, you want to do this, John? We need a lot of ships, and we need them fast. And he said, I want to do it. He gave up a lot, gave up everything to do this. But he's loving it, and he's doing a fantastic job. Chief of Naval Operations, Admiral Darrell Caudle. Admiral, thank you. Great job. Rear Admiral Gavin Duff. And along with so many different people here, that I could introduce them all day long. I don't want to do that because we got to get to business, talking a little bit about war and peace. But along with your great officers here at Norfolk Naval Base, Vice Admirals John Gumbleton. John, thank you. Thank you, John. Great. Young guy. You're a young guy. Great. Doug Perry and Rob Goucher. And a very special thanks to a man who just got a 93% approval. He runs the Veterans Everything, I call it. He's Veterans Everything. The VA Secretary Doug Collins. He's doing great. Thank you, Doug. Doing a great job. Ambassador Monica Crowley. Monica, thank you very much. A man that everybody loves. He was my doctor in the White House, and I got to know him very well. He was also the doctor for Barack Hussein Obama. Have you heard of him? And he was the doctor for a man named Bush. And at a press conference, they asked him, who's in the best shape? Who's the healthiest? Who's the strongest? Who's the best physical specimen of the three? He said, that's easy. President Donald Trump. And I said, I love this guy. I said, I love him. Ronnie Jackson, he's now a congressman, as you know. So he was an admiral, he was the chief doctor, he was the whole boss of doctors. And now he's a very, very successful congressman from Texas. Thank you, Ronnie, very much. And I appreciate those words. I'll never forget them. Jen Kiggins, Jen, thank you. John McGuire, Rob Whitman, Dan Crenshaw, Derek Van Orden. These are unbelievable, talented people that are with me and they fight. Thank you very much, fellas. Thank you. Thank you very much, darling. These are great Congress. I say Congress warriors. That's what you have to be today to be in Congress if you're going to make it. I also want to recognize all of the newly pinned chief petty officers. You got a lot of them here today. I had to approve it. Who recently earned their anchors and now bear their venerable title, Navy Chief. Navy Chief. Thank you, Navy Chiefs. Let's also express the gratitude of our entire nation to every Navy veteran who has come out to honor this big anniversary. We see so many veterans. I saw backstage, I was shaking hands with veterans all over the place. And they are great. And they're respected and they're loved. Thank you very much. Stand up if you'd like. Thank you very much. They're really loved. I saw it backstage. I saw so many veterans, and my hand will never be the same. Thank you very much. A great honor. And a very special thanks to the countless Navy families who support our sailors with such love and devotion. None of what are, and think of this, without them, you wouldn't be celebrating today. Many of you would not be doing very well. Male or female, you wouldn't be doing very well. So we want to thank our family members, right? All of them. Parents, husbands, wives. Thank you. Thank you very much. From the American Revolution until today, the story of the U.S. Navy is a tale of loyalty, sacrifice, and commitment stretching back 250 years. So we're celebrating 250. I almost thought I wouldn't get to do that because I was president in 2016, and then they rigged the election on me. And then we caught him, didn't we? We caught him, but you know, we had to run it again. I ran it again, and I got 250, and I got the World Cup, and I got the Olympics. Can you believe all of it? In my first term, I was the one that got the Olympics. I was the one that got the World Cup. And I said, you know, the sad part is, maybe I'll go, maybe I won't even be invited because it won't be during my term. I would say, if we're a Democrat, I might not be invited. They don't love me exactly too much. And then when this happened, now all of a sudden they got all three. But you know what's the most important? 250 years is the most important, above World Cup, above Olympic. But we got them all coming. And on June 14th, next year, we're going to have a big UFC fight at the White House, right at the White House, on the grounds of the White House.
Uh-oh. For some reason, we just lost that feed. Why? What happened? Let's see what's going on over here.
his mortal wounds. Fight her till man who's just exceptional. I'm so happy with this choice. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth.
Well, this seems a little bit behind.
Thank you, Pete. Secretary Doug Collins, he's doing great. Thank you, Doug. Doing a great job. Ambassador Monica Crowley. Monica, thank you very much. A man that everybody loves. He was my doctor in the White House, and I got to know him very well. He was also the doctor for Barack, and he scoffed at their chances against the most powerful empire on earth. That was the most powerful ever, relatively speaking. We had 2 ships. We had nothing other, but we had great heart. They didn't know the audacity and the grit of the American sailor. They had no idea the war for independence gave us some of the greatest American heroes of all time, including the father of the U.S. Navy, Captain John Paul Jones. You know that. When a far stronger British ship demanded his surrender, Jones yelled back that timeless battle cry right now: "I have not yet begun to fight." Don't ask me for that. Think of that. I could just see it. He's a wise guy. He's asking, I haven't even begun to fight. And he knocked the hell out of him. In the War of 1812, Captain James Lawrence shouted his final words to his crew as blood streamed down from his mortal wounds.
This is RSBN.
Fight her till she sinks, he yelled. Don't give up the ship. Don't give up the ship. These are all incredible, very, very famous statements now with years and time. Very famous. Don't give up the ship. I say it all the time. You're a little behind. I said, don't give up the ship, and we win. We all know how to win. Today, that eternal creed is written into the hearts of every sailor in the fleet. America's Navy never, ever gives up the ship, right? We never give it up. Another titan of the early Navy was the great Commodore Arthur Sinclair. He defeated the French in the Caribbean battle. And then he went to work on the Barbary pirates off the coast of Tripoli and raided British forces when they were so powerful in 1812, the War of 1812. He raided them. He was knocking them out one by one. Everyone said, where does this guy come from? And we're all descendants when you think of it. Commodore Sinclair went on to become the commanding officer here at the Naval Station Norfolk, right here, where he founded a nautical school for officers that eventually became the one and only U.S. Naval Academy. And I'm going to be at your Army-Navy game this year. Who am I going to root for, huh? You may be surprised. It's going to be great. We're going to be here. Generations of the Commodore's descendants have forged their own towering legacies of service in the Navy, and we're joined today by his fifth great-grandson, Commander Link Mustin. Where is Mustin? Commander Mustin. The end. Once he's here. Wow, look at this handsome guy. Some brilliant minds. That's good genetics. A lot of them are he's got good genes. Thank you very much. Commander, thank you for continuing a family tradition that has endured for 2.5 centuries. Can you believe that, huh? I wonder if they were as good-looking as you. I doubt it. You just got better with age, right? Congratulations. Is that young man your boy? Wow. He beat you. They beat you. That's what we want to see. Over the generations, our Navy sailors raised Old Glory above the streets of Veracruz, sent the Spanish fleet to its watery grave in Manila Bay, and buried the vicious German wolfpacks at the bottom of the sea. Those were vicious, vicious wolfpacks. They were brutal. They were hitting us hard, and then we came up with the answer, didn't we? We came up with the way to knock them out, and we were knocking them out so fast they didn't know what to do. It was really the end once we discovered the secret through some brilliant minds. A lot of them are descendants of the people here right now. In every era of conflict, the Navy has never failed to hunt, kill, and to win. Never failed. Never failed. In World War II, Admiral Bull Halsey's motto, hit hard, hit fast, hit often, and that is exactly what the sailors do. One of those warriors was Submarine Commander Eugene Fluke, who sent more Japanese tonnage to the ocean floor than any other man in history. I don't like to talk about it too much now. You know, they've been a nice ally, but anybody from Japan here right now? We'll get off the subject immediately. But think of it, sent more tonnage to the bottom of the sea, one after one. Aboard the famed USS Barb, he destroyed a Japanese tanker and a carrier with a single salvo to his men's chagrin. They were very concerned about it. They didn't think we could do that, and he just knocked them out one after another. And again, torpedoes were flying, but his greatest feat came when he spotted 30 enemy ships at port off the coast of China. You know that, a very famous story. Commander Fluke ordered his men to their battle station, slipped into the harbor, and sank 6 vessels at one time before taking off into the beautiful, wild blue ocean. He received 4 Navy Crosses, the Legion of Merit, and the Congressional Medal of Honor. That was a brave guy. In recognition of the incredible achievements of the USS Barb under his command, this December we will lay the keel of a brand new Virginia-class submarine bearing that same legendary name, and his grandson, Tom, will be there to pick it up. Tom is with us today, and I want to thank you for keeping that great legacy around. Where is Tom? Oh, look, stand up, Tom. Great. Good, Tom. Thank you. That's good. That's good genes too, Tom, isn't it? Huh? That's good stuff. Thank you very much, both, for being here. From Midway to the Coral Sea to Leyte Gulf, American sailors fought the most epic naval battles in history. And at Normandy, the Navy led the greatest armada ever formed to deliver the single largest invasion force the world has ever seen. One of the sailors who did it was Felix Maurizio, who enlisted at age 18 and trained right here in Norfolk, trained right here. On D-Day, June 6, 1944, Felix manned an amphibious landing craft that did 6 harrowing runs to Omaha Beach. You all know about it. These are all famous fights. He delivered hundreds of American troops into the battle, including his brother Sal. Felix lost so many of his friends that day, but he kept fighting. He kept going out there, getting more soldiers, getting more of everything. He just kept coming. They couldn't stop him, and went on to serve in the Pacific under the great Admiral Nimitz. In February 1945, he spent his 21st birthday landing Marines on the blood-soaked sands of Iwo Jima, one of the bloodiest, toughest battles ever. Historic battle. 6 months later, he was aboard the USS Talladega in Tokyo Bay. When Japan surrendered, they said, I don't think we want Felix hitting us anymore. And he retired as a chief petty officer in 1966. This year, Felix celebrated his 100th birthday, and he is here this afternoon as a living testament to the glory of the United States Navy. Wow.
That's amazing.
That's great. He looks good. Felix, you look better than I do. I'm not happy about this, Felix. Nah, they don't want to mess around with him. And Felix, we salute you. Thank you very much. Incredible. 100 years. In Korea, American sailors and Marines carried out the daring landing in Incheon and flew more than 250,000 combat sorties against the enemy. It was an amazing effort. In Vietnam, the Navy unleashed Operation Rolling Thunder and deployed a brand new unit, the Navy SEALs, to tear up Mekong River Delta. Problem with Vietnam, we stopped fighting to win. We would have won easy. We would have won Afghanistan easy. We would have won every war easy. But we got politically correct. Let's take it easy. We're not politically correct anymore, just so you understand. We win. Now we win. Woo! We don't want to be politically correct anymore. And history will never forget that it was the SEALs who stormed the compound at Osama bin Laden and put a bullet in his head. Remember that? And please remember, I wrote about Osama bin Laden exactly 1 year ago, 1 year before he blew up the World Trade Center. And I said, you got to watch Osama bin Laden. And the fake news would never let me get away with that statement unless it was true. But I said 1 year before to Pete Hegseth, I said 1 year before, where's Pete? In the book, I wrote, whatever the hell the title, I can't tell you. But I can tell you there's a page in there devoted to the fact that I saw somebody named Osama bin Laden, and I didn't like it, and you got to take care of him. They didn't do it. A year later, he blew up the World Trade Center, so we got to take a little credit because nobody else is going to give it to me. You know the old story? They don't give you credit, just take it yourself. And it was the U.S. Navy that dumped his wretched corpse off the decks of the Carl Vinson to sink into the dark abyss. The Navy's central role in the defense of our liberty continues to this day. Just a few months ago, the Ohio-class guided missile submarine played an indispensable part in one of the most spectacular military feats the world has ever seen, the obliteration of Iran's nuclear sites in Operation Midnight Hammer. How did that work out? Pretty good, right? And we shot 30 Tomahawks, you know that. On top of, after the B-2, how about that? The B-2s, what they did, those beautiful flying wings, what they did, they hit every single target they hit. And just in case we shot 30 Tomahawks out of a submarine, every one of them hit too. So I would say Iran was not particularly thrilled. They were going to have a nuclear weapon within a month. And now they can start the operation all over again, but I hope they don't, because we'll have to take care of that too if they do. I let them know that you want to do that, it's fine, but we're going to take care of that, and we're not going to wait so long. It should have been done long before I came along. You know that I had the pilots of the B-2s in my office, the famous Oval Office. I had them in the B-2s. They came in to the White House, and we talked about it. They said, you know, sir, for 22 years, our predecessors and us trained for that hit. For 22 years, they were training to take out the nuclear potential of Iran. He said, but it was only when you came along that we did it. And they were so happy that they did it. But they've been training for that hit for 22 years, but no president wanted to do it. They would have had a nuclear weapon within a month, probably within a month or shortly thereafter. And speaking to them would have been much more difficult. In recent weeks, the Navy has supported our mission to blow the cartel terrorists the hell out of the water. You see that? And you know, there are no boats in the water anymore. You can't find any. We're having a hard time finding them. But you know, it's a pretty tough thing we've been doing, but you have to think of it this way. Every one of those boats is responsible for the death of 25,000 American people and the destruction of families. So when you think of it that way, what we're doing is actually an act of kindness. But we did another one last night. Now we just can't find any. You know, it's the old story. We're so good at it that there are no boats. In fact, even fishing boats, nobody wants to go into the water anymore. Sorry to tell you that. But it's we're stopping drugs coming into America, if that's okay. We're stopping drugs at a level that nobody's ever seen before. Last year, we lost, I believe, 300,000 people. And that's not talking about the destruction to families. Every one of us knows families that have been destroyed because the son, daughter, even mothers and fathers are destroyed by the fentanyl pouring in and drugs pouring in. Well, they're not coming in by sea anymore, so now we'll have to start looking about the land because they'll be forced to go by land. And let me tell you right now, that's not going to work out well for them either. And it was the Truman Carrier strike group that unleashed American fury on the Houthi terrorists in the Red Sea. And as you know, they settled. But they settled because they made the statement to us, we've never been hit like that ever before. And earlier this year conducted the single largest airstrike from an American carrier in history. That was the largest ever. I want to express my personal thanks to every single sailor who contributed to these phenomenal victories. We only know victory. We're only going to know victory. We don't want to know the other word. We want to know victory. We're going to have great victories in the years to come. well, at least for almost 3.5 years, we're going to have great victories. I want to thank a group of women from North Carolina. Look at these great. Will you stand up, please? These beautiful women have followed me. This is number 151. You could call a rally. This is sort of a rally. Let's face it, this is a rally. This is a speech of love. We all love our country. But that group is from North Carolina. They're up to about 151 visits. They have a whole group of them. I never see their husbands. I don't know what's going on with their husbands. I assume, do they still love you, the husbands? Yes, good. But I want to thank you. 151, they've been following me since 2016, and you look even better now than you did then. But I want to thank you very much. It's a really group. They love our country. They like Trump, but you know what they really do? They love our country. And we have the right policy, right? We have policy. We don't want crime. We don't want men playing in women's sports. We don't want transgender for everybody. We don't want to have open borders where millions of people come into our country from jails, from prisons, from mental institutions and insane asylums, drug dealers, murderers. 11,788 murderers were allowed to come into our country. A lot of them are gone. And by the way, Washington, D.C. is a safe place right now. It went from one of the most dangerous cities in our country, can you believe that, to probably the safest, among the safest in our country. Nobody's being hit anymore. It's very safe, and I want to thank you. A lot of the people here have helped. A lot of the people in the audience are people that have straightened them out. It took 12 days, think of that. Now we're in Memphis. We're doing the same thing in Memphis. And we're going to Chicago. You know, we have a governor that thinks it's wonderful when 50 people in a short period of time were murdered in Chicago. Over 200 people were hit. And so we send in the National Guard. You know what? We send in what's ever necessary. People don't care. They don't want crime in their cities. And we're doing it, and we're doing it well. We're doing it like nobody's ever done it before. So I just want to tell you, you're very close to D.C. The restaurants are thriving. The restaurants were dying. They were closing one after another. Now they're thriving. They're opening up beautiful new restaurants. Washington, D.C. is safe. And I even went there and had dinner the other night. And I stood right smack in the middle of the street. Secret Service was thrilled. And I gave a news conference. It's a safe place now. Washington, D.C., it's always going to be. Our nation's capital is always going to be safe. We're never going to let that happen again, what happened there. One of the most beautiful places. We're doing a big beautification program. It'll take me very little, very short, but we're doing a beautification program to go along with the security and safety. We're getting rid of the graffiti, the potholes, the broken medians between roads. We're doing a real job, and you'd be proud of it. I think everybody here is proud of it, frankly. That's our nation's capital, and that has to be clean, beautiful, and safe. The U.S. Navy always stands for America. As your commander-in-chief, I will always stand for you. I promise you that. You know that. That's why you voted for me in numbers that nobody's ever seen before. And I want you to know that despite the current Democrat-induced shutdown, we will get our service members every last penny. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Do not worry about it. It's all coming. It's coming. And even more because I'm supporting the across-the-board pay raises for every sailor and service member of the United States Armed Forces. But we have to take care of this little gnat that's on our shoulder called the Democrats. They want to give all of our money to illegal aliens that pour into the country. And, you know, I have a bigger heart than they do. But the problem is when you do that, they come in by the millions. Everybody wants that, so you can't do it. But I've also pledged the largest ever investment in our military's history. We're spending over $1 trillion. We've never had anything like that before. $1 trillion on our military, and that includes, along with your Secretary of the Navy and Pete Hegseth, we're going to be building lots of ships and doing a lot of things that you haven't seen happen for 35 years. We'll soon revitalize our once great shipyards with hundreds of billions of dollars in new investments and people coming from all around the world, and they're going to build ships in America. We want to build in America. And as I told our generals and admirals last Tuesday, we are getting wokeness the hell out of our military. It's gone. It's really gone. I don't know that it was ever really here. I think some of the top people had it. I knew a few of them that they were major losers, but they were losers. Unlike our great general, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, who may be here, Dan Raisin Cain. You know Raisin Cain? When I heard his name, I said, that's the guy I'm looking for. But he's been an amazing warrior, and, you know, he was the one headed up the attack on Iran. And everything he's touched has turned out great. He knocked out ISIS. So I was told it would take 4 to 5 years to beat ISIS. When he came on board, he did it in 4 weeks. We knocked him out in 4 weeks. 100% of the ISIS caliphate. Is Dan Cain here? He is, you know why? Because he's working. That's the one thing. We don't have to worry about him. But he is a fantastic man. It's the man I wanted right from the beginning. I said, if I ever do this again and if I could get lucky enough to win, because we have a base like nobody in history has had, I said, I'm going to pick Raisin Cain as the chairman. And that's what we did, and he's been incredible. We will not be politically correct when it comes to defending American freedom. That's why we have renamed the Department of Defense at Department of War, as I said, and we have changed the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. That was easy. That was an easy one. You know, for years I've looked at it, and I added it up, and I figured we have 92% of the frontage. I say, how come we call it the Gulf of Mexico? I mean, I wouldn't say that Mexico is thrilled with me, but what are you going to do? It's the Gulf of America, and I love it now. I was watching the other night a report, and they said very routinely, in the Gulf of America, this is the, you know, they just went on to talk about it. They didn't do it with a smirk or a smile. They didn't say, in the Gulf of America. No, it's called the Gulf of America now, and nobody's playing games with it. We got sued by the Associated Press, and they lost. In fact, the judge was so good, he said, he's calling it the Gulf of America. He's got all the approvals. You have to do this. They got thrown out of court. In fact, they're almost not allowed to cover me anymore because of that. It was a big hit. So I'm very proud of that. Under our leadership, the spirit of the American forces is soaring like it has never soared before. I think right now we have more spirit than we've ever had before. After years of recruiting shortages, we couldn't get guys or gals to become sailors. 1 year ago, they didn't want to be a sailor. Although I must say, once I said we're going to run, a lot of people, it made it better. But let's go back 2 years, and it was even worse. Because there was no hope. We had this horrible, horrible president who had no clue what the hell was happening. The chances of him walking down those stairs successfully were not good. And I have to be careful, because one day I'm going to probably fall. No, the North Carolina women said that will never happen to you. I always say, walk down the steps nice and slow. You ever notice I do nice? I don't have to bop down the stairs. Walk nice and slowly. But we have a waiting list. Think of this. We have a waiting list for people wanting to get into the United States Navy, the Army, Navy, Coast Guard, Marines, Space Force. Oh, we love Space Force. But think of it. We have a waiting list for every branch of government now. And that includes police and firemen. They didn't want to. Nobody wanted to be a policeman. Now they want to be a policeman. Now they want to be in the Navy. They want to be in the Air Force so badly. The Marines, the Army, they want to be in all of it. They love Space Force. I love Space Force because I created Space Force. That was my thing. And it's going to turn out to be one of the most important. But 1 year ago, our country was dead. We had a dead country. People say, sir, you shouldn't say that. It's too straight. We had a dead country, and today we have the hottest country anywhere in the world by far. 1 year, think of it. 1 year ago, we were dead. The king of Saudi Arabia said to me, President, 1 year ago, we thought we lost America. We thought it was a dead country, and now you have the hottest country anywhere in the world. He said that. I use this term. And I'm pleased to say that 2025 was the Navy's single best recruiting year ever. Not bad. So you went from those embarrassing headlines of a year ago. Think of it. Nobody wants to go into the Navy. How does that make you feel? Now you have a different problem. You know what the problem is? Everybody wants your job. I like that better, right? But nobody's going to take your job. You were with us when it was not as nice. It wasn't as nice. Those are the people I like the best, too. The people that were with me when it wasn't looking so good, like these ladies from North Carolina, they were with me when it wasn't looking that good. A lot of fake scandals were created, all fake. One of those eager new recruits is 18-year-old Aiden Rollins, a recruit like I'm so proud of. Aiden's father was a sailor, his grandfather was a sailor, and after 4 years of Navy ROTC, it is Aiden's turn to carry on that tradition. When he enlisted in April, his father, Daniel, a Navy veteran, was so inspired that he decided to re-enlist too. Wow. I'm delighted to say that father and son are here with us today representing the future of this great fleet. Please, Aiden and your father, please stand up. Wow. Wow, that's a good-looking family, I tell you. Thank you both. That's a great story. Beautiful. Your father looks pretty young, Aiden. I mean, he's a young-looking guy. Every sailor, aviator, submariner, and shipmate in the Navy inherits a tradition of excellence and daring, power and glory unmatched in the long saga of mankind's voyage on the sea. From that first ship, the schooner Hannah, to the awesome sight of a modern carrier battle group underway, the U.S. Navy has always been the iron will of a proud and mighty nation pushing forward through the currents and over those big, beautiful waves, through the spray of raging combat and the fog of naval war. America's sailors have proven time and again that our Navy does just the best job there is. Anything having to do with sailing the oceans, there's nobody to compete. We own the skies, we stalk the depths, and we rule the seas like nobody has ever ruled the seas. From Boston Harbor to Hampton Roads, from the Philippine Sea to the Red Sea, from the Guadalcanal to the vast, great Atlantic Ocean. Our sailors have seized triumph upon triumph. We don't know anything about defeat. We heaped honor upon honor and carved greatness and splendor into the pages of history. We only talk about the Navy and only use that word, splendor. We also say victory because that's the other. We have splendor and we have victory on gun decks and flight decks. In torpedo rooms and cockpits, they have poured out their blood, sweat, and tears and offered their very lives to defend this land between the seas. They have crossed icy canals, leapt from burning wreckage, plunged into frigid waters, soared into deadly skies, and slashed across the mine-infested bays to claim American victory and to defend the cause of liberty, to defend, quite frankly, the American flag. In every era and every part of this globe, our sailors have fought with courage in their hearts, patriotism in their souls, and salt water in their veins. You have that salt water? Don't let the doctors change it. Keep it, because there's nothing like it. There's no blood like it. And standing before all of you today, I know that whatever our nation is threatened and whenever they need help, whenever duty calls, American sailors will hoist our flag high and they will rally to Admiral Farragut's immortal battle cry, "Damn the torpedoes, full speed ahead, go, you son of a gun." With your help, we will fight, fight, fight. We will win, win, win. Because of you, our Navy and our country will always be proud and righteous and mighty and free. Congratulations once again on 250 years of total dominance. Sail fast, stay strong. Thank you. God bless our sailors and God bless the United States of America. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
Okay, so our President Trump, amazing. I learned a lot about the Navy thanks to President Trump today. There's a lot of things I didn't know about it. I hope that you guys also learned a lot. Look, he's doing his dance. Oh, yeah, that's our President Trump. Every time I see him walking around, I am so grateful that the horrible terrorists did not take him out on J13th. When I say terrorists, because I still don't believe the narrative about who it was who shot President Trump on that day. And I've been working on an article about that. As you know, I used to write for the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, and I covered the Butler area. So I know my peeps in Butler. Yeah, Rachel, this is a really a great celebration of our Navy and also our country and President Trump. And Melania, she looks amazing. And it was good to see her give a speech as well. All right, goodbye, President Trump. Have a safe flight home. One has to be living in an alternative realm to not realize we don't have any clue how technologically advanced we are. That's so true, Spirit, so true. We are definitely living in an alternate world in a lot of ways, which is why the Beach Report often takes you to the beach so that you can see the beauty and the splendor of the natural world that we do live in. All right, you guys. I am very happy to see a lot of wonderful people here. Dan agrees there are a lot of questions about Butler, Pennsylvania. And don't worry, as a journalist, I am on that story, and I have been interviewing people who were at the Butler rally, as well as looking into certain aspects about the shooter and when was he really shot. I've got some inside information on that. So stay tuned to the Beach Report. A lot of times we are just celebrating God and, like I said, the splendor of nature. But I am always your journalist on the job. We'll find out some interesting things as the days advance. Hey, Colorado. Actually, Joel, I was born in Denver, so a little Rocky Mountain. What is that my mom used to call me? Rocky Mountain Dingleberry or something like that. Anyway, I'm not a Dingleberry. No, Rocky Mountain cow pie, I don't know. Anyway, I didn't grow up in Colorado, so I can't really claim it, but I was born there. Anyway, I am going to say ciao for now. We'll see you guys on the next Beach Report. Have a wonderful